Hey, Trina Weeps here with this week's news, and the first thing we have is that a new version of the app is out. Again, but this time it is version 1.35 on Android, the iOS version is still on its way, and there's lots of good stuff in there. Particularly, new loading screen has Smeargle on it, and he's so cute. So this illustrates the new GO Snapshot feature, which has just gone live, and in it, you can see Smeargle photobombing the picture. Now that is interesting because Smeargle is not yet in the game, but according to data mines by Trails, there is a new encounter type called Photobomb. And there's also a badge with bronze, silver, and gold statuses that counts the number of surprise encounters in GO Snapshot. So hopefully, this will be a way to encounter Smeargle, but he doesn't seem to be in the game yet because GO Snapshot has been out for Android users for about almost 12 hours now, and there are no reports of it yet. Possibly they're holding out for the iOS version, which makes sense. Or maybe it's something that'll be released later. Also, we don't know if it's only Smeargle that might turn up in photobombs. Something that we will hopefully find out soon. Also in the app, discovered by data mining, is a thing called a team medallion, which looks like it'll allow people to change teams. So if you signed up ages ago and then maybe moved or found out that all your friends were a different team, hopefully you'll be able to change that. On top of that, he's also discovered a bunch of Meltan themed clothing, earrings for female avatars, a shirt, and a hat. Again, not announced. No idea if it'll ever come out, but it's in there. So, GO Snapshot, completely new feature. This is the one that allows you to take AR photos of any Pokemon that you have in your bag. So instead of being limited to ones that you're trying to catch and therefore risking they run away every community day, once you have something, you'll be able to go into the upgraded camera and you'll get a tutorial as soon as you open the version of the game that has it. But this basically lets you go into your Pokemon screen, hit the camera, throw your Pokeball, also known as tap the screen, and take pictures anywhere you want. So here is a demo of it in action. So GO Snapshot is here, and I have come to this excitingly empty field, and I'm gonna try out GO Snapshot. So, what you do is find your nice Pokemon. You can see we have an upgraded camera now. Make sure you're in a safe location. I think we're okay. Tap to place a Pokemon. Alright. Let's just put him or her, I didn't check. There we go. Oh, look at that. And Tangela's really big. Hey Tangela, how you doing? So you swipe to get their attention. I'm gonna see what happens if I walk around its back and then swipe. Too close, no! Or I could just put it back in its Pokeball and place it somewhere better. And walk around. And once we're done, you press the back button in the top left corner, and we get our gallery of pictures. So fierce, Tangela. Good eye. Share my photos. Which ones? All of them? Ah, here we go. Share photos, and then whatever apps you happen to have on your phone, there you go. So fierce. Hashtag Pokemon Go so my non-Pokemon friends can mute my tweets. GO Snapshot. The one bad thing is that much like the previous AR photos when you're doing on catch, you can't switch the camera to use your front-facing camera and therefore take stupid selfies. But that's okay. This Saturday, 23rd February, is going to be Clamperl Day. And that is another limited time event, so for 3 hours in your area, same time as community days. The research you get from Pokestops will contain quests that lead to an encounter with Clamperl. Clamperl evolves into 2 different Pokemon, Huntail or Gorbis. And even though in the main series you need items to evolve into one or the other, the way Niantic have chosen to do this is to have it randomly evolve, much like Wurmple or kind of Eevee. So at the bare minimum, you want to get at least 3 of these quests so you can get 3 Clamperl and try and evolve into the 2 different evolutions. You've probably got a better bet of going for 5 or 7, but then again, if you get the same evolution, you can probably trade it for someone else. Based on the wording in the announcement, and the fact that, you know, Clamperl is basically some kind of oyster, looks like it's going to be all themed around water, and there will be boosted water Pokemon during that time period. If you don't have time to spend 3 hours chasing Clamperl, at least try and grab, you know, as I say, 3 quests. Even if you complete them after the time, you should still get Clamperl as the encounter. We also have double Cat Stardust, so that's nice, and maybe this time I will get my shiny Wailmer. While you're out hunting for Clamperl, don't forget to look for those level 5 raids because it is also Special Raid Weekend! You could get shiny Latias. Not Latios, that will get its own special weekend in the future. But, so what they've said is Friday, February 22nd, 1 PM PST, also known as 9 PM in the UK, which means not Europe on Friday, but Saturday, and that going all the way through to Monday, February 25th, again 9 PM, so at least we get Monday. The legendary Pokemon Latias will be joining raid battles. If you're lucky, you may encounter a shiny Latias. Or it could also be Palkia, so once again, shared raid bosses. You're just gonna have to hope you get the one you want. Last weekend we had Swinub Community Day, so hooray! Lots of green Swinub and Piloswine and Mamoswine and all that. Mamoswine had Ancient Power, and alongside that Niantic announced that this is the introduction of stat boosts in PvP. According to the news post on PokemonGoLive.com, certain charge attacks will have a chance to trigger stat boosts in trainer battles. These stat boosts will persist on the affected Pokemon until they either faint or are switched out of battle. The 3 moves that will boost your attack and defense in trainer battles are Ancient Power, Ominous Wind, and Silver Wind. And here's a graphic that shows the Pokemon that have those moves. They've also said this is just the first of many updates to come, so stay tuned for more communications about trainer battles. So hopefully we'll be getting more things that switch things up and make it less of just a tap fest and maybe more tactics. I don't really play PvP much myself. I'll maybe remember to do my daily gym leader battle to get a Sinnoh Stone. Sometimes. Also PvP with my fiance. But there are so many Pokemon, I just haven't had the time to sit down and go through all my fast moves and figure out the best movesets. One day though. One day. Because otherwise, why am I collecting all these Pokemon? Because they're cute, that's why. Earlier this week, we got a couple of new shinies and a new Pokemon. Happiny is now available in 7k eggs, as are Shiny Smoochum and Shiny Cleffa, so that means you could evolve to Shiny Jinx, and you could evolve to Shiny Clefairy and Clefable. Don't forget, even though the Valentine's event is pretty much over, almost certainly over by the time you watch this video, the Meltan event is still going on, so if you have access to Switch with a Let's Go, you can still open the mystery box every 3 days until 4th February, or in the UK that's 5th February. So get on that and try and get your shiny Meltan, because after 4th of March, they will disappear. Also, male Combi is out, and as well as being around in the wild, should be available in 5k eggs. And you can tell the difference between that because female Combi has a little red triangle thing along one of her faces, along the middle. Male Combi does not, and female Combi is the one that can evolve into Vespiquen. In other news, a small number of accounts were affected by a bug in which you either couldn't log into the game, or you could log in but you couldn't get into gyms, or other oddities that were difficult to explain. Niantic George actually posted on Reddit in the Sylph Road community and said that these should now be fixed. If your account was affected, you should have received an email. If your account seems to be affected and still hasn't been fixed, they would like you to contact Niantic through the in-game support, And I'll put up a little video that explains how that works here, but basically you go into settings and then scroll down and go to support and press the buttons. And finally, if you're level 40 and you live in or are visiting Vietnam, you can submit Pokestop nominations. Hooray! Still none for me. But that's okay because I finally reached level 10 in Ingress this week. So I can run around and submit all the trail markers near my area. Okay, that is all the news for this week. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you next time. Good luck this weekend!